And welcome to another edition of the County Court Report here in April. I'm Jamie Johnson, joined by Floyd County Judge Executive Robbie Williams here at the WMDJ studios on the first day of April, and we're talking about everything going on. Obviously, the hot topic is the COVID-19 and how that has affected us here locally. And it's very important for us to do these videos, to do broadcasts, to put the word out for you because you need to know things on a local level. We were talking here before we got started that if you sit at home and you're watching the national news, if you're watching NBC and Fox and whatnot, it can really take a toll on your anxiety. But what you need to realize is how is it affecting us right here in the backyard? Now we're all affected.
Absolutely.
We're all affected by this. Some of us may even be infected, and we don't even know. I mean, not to make light of it. But,
hopefully not.
Right. But not to make light of it. But hey, there's a lot of unknown, but what we do know here on a local level, we're here to share that with you here today at WMDJ. And Judge, thank you for coming by.
Well, I appreciate it, and you're right. The folks say, you're on Facebook or television or newspaper or whatever every day. Why? Why do you keep preaching the same message? Obviously, we need to get our message out here locally, and I think it's important for us to let the folks know everything's good here in Floyd County. If you watch the national news, you think the sky's falling. That's not the case here. Obviously, New York, some of these larger cities, some of these hot spots, they're having some major issues. We're not here, but the reason we aren't is we've been doing the right things from the beginning. But like we spoke about earlier, we have to continue to do the right things. And that's the reason we keep, putting this information out daily, and because this thing can escalate, and we can turn into a hot spot pretty quick if you get 1, 2, 3 people that should catch the virus.
And that's something we don't want to do, okay? Especially with an elderly population we have here, a lot of folks who deal with black lung.
Absolutely.
A lot of smokers in our community. A lot of people have respiratory problems. It is something that could really be a tragic event in our area, and you're doing everything you can, or officials are doing everything they can to not allow this to happen.
Absolutely, and that's what I tell folks. Don't think so much about yourself. Think about the people around you.
Right.
If you're a young person, you take this home to mom, dad, grandma, grandpa. I mean, this is, it could take their life. So you need to think about the folks around you.
Speaking of a virus update here in the county, obviously at this point, no confirmed cases, but there's some numbers and things that you need to talk about.
There are no confirmed cases at this point in Floyd County. We certainly think we think down the road we probably will have a case. Hopefully we don't. But we do have plans in place in the event that we should. Absolutely. The people are being tested. Mm-hmm. But we feel confident right now that we're doing all the right things necessary. We have a good team, with the medical professionals that we have on board. The other partner agencies that we have helping us with our game plan. We have a game plan in place. We hope we don't have to execute it. We can put it in the filing cabinet and not have to execute it. But, one of the things I wanted to talk about today, it is the first of the month. So for the next 3 or 4 days, people are going to be out stirring. If you go to the grocery stores, you don't need to drag your 3 or 4 kids along with you. You need to go by yourself. If you get somebody to drive you to the grocery store, you need to go in one at a time. If the store is crowded, you need to leave and come back when it's not so crowded. So let's continue to do the things that we have been doing so that we can get our economy back moving as soon as possible. And that's what folks have to realize is we're going to turn into regional, we're going to have, more than likely, we're going to go back as regions. Because this is going to be with us for some time. It's not going away. It's like the flu. So what's going to happen is, what I can foresee is it's going to be like on a county by county basis where they can say, you folks can do this, but you still have to, take the necessary precautions to ensure that you don't get it. But, another thing I want to quickly mention, parents, talk to your kids. I want you to talk to your kids about this. This has been going on for some time now. I worry about these kids' mental well-being. Just sit them down and explain to them, that we're fine. This is something that it is a bump in the road. But you know your kids better than anyone and how to explain this to them, to ease some of these fears. And that's something that's been a little concerning to me. I want to thank our first responders. I want to thank our medical professionals for everything that they've been doing. These folks, their preparedness, getting ready, they're doing a super job, and I do want to thank them. And I want to keep folks I want to keep everyone in their thoughts and prayers, but especially these larger cities. They're dealing with some major issues and loss of life, and I think everyone should send out a prayer to each and every one of these families.
Now, you were also contacted today by the Herald Leader talking about people coming into our area from
Yes.
out of state and things. An interesting angle on this. What was your response to their questions?
Well, we've had some folks to call in about family members that have they've shown up back here in Floyd County. We're making the recommendation if those family members should come home, sons, daughters, cousins, relatives, quarantine them for 14 days. Use good judgment. This isn't mandatory, but we would prefer you to quarantine them. And if they are from a hot spot, one of these major cities,
Right.
they should contact the health department and speak with the folks at the health department to see exactly what they should do.
Nothing wrong with taking refuge, but you got to be responsible for everybody else that's already here.
Yeah.
And do that. Take that personal responsibility. What if do you need to go to Lexington right now? Do you need to go to Louisville? Do you need to go out of the area right now? If you really don't.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't
That's
do
right.
it.
And that's one of the things I tell folks is what you'll see when we get the all clear on this and we go back to work. I think folks are going to stay closer to home.
Yeah.
Folks are going to stay closer to home, but we just need to use common sense.
And it's not about fear. It's about responsibility.
Absolutely.
That's what you got to understand. This isn't. I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, this is just all blown up. It's just all fear. It's not real. It's political." And stop it. It's just be responsible. And at the end of the day, when it's over with, when nothing happens, let's all be fine with it and move on.
Absolutely, I agree.
Now, moving on, we've done some stuff with the food pantries here in Floyd County. The fiscal court last week made an announcement of a $200,000 being given to be distributed out on a need-to basis. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, the fiscal court last week, we voted to allocate $200,000 for our local food pantries in the event it's needed. We don't see a big need at this point, but we really don't know where we're going to be at 6 to 8 weeks. So we're trying to anticipate. We're looking down the road,
Yeah.
what may be coming. So we went ahead and allocated the money for the food pantries in the event it's needed, and also for the senior citizens. The money that we allocated actually came from an emergency fund that we set up last year there at the fiscal court. And, I do want to thank the 3 magistrates that did support the setting up of the emergency fund, because if we didn't do this, we wouldn't have the funds to
Where would we be
help,
at
where
right
would we
now?
be today?
Yeah.
So we're using that money to help the food pantries. We're using this money to help the senior citizen centers. We're now feeding right at 300 senior citizens per day that we're delivering meals to every day, or 5 days a week. So yeah, that's been big for us. But the fiscal court, we have stepped up and done that. And I tell folks, utilize your food pantries. Don't worry about this is beneath me. The stigma that's attached with using the food pantries. The majority of the folks that are unemployed and being laid off, this isn't because of anything that you did wrong. This is just this is life. This is something that's happened. We have to deal with it. And I don't want one person to go to bed hungry at night. We can put off some of the things that we need to do in Floyd County, roads, some of our routine maintenance. We're going to see to it that everyone gets fed and people aren't going to bed hungry at night.
This is the time when government, even on a national level, is really stepping up to take care of their people.
Well, we have to.
And that's part of the responsibility. You don't think about it, but when you're paying those taxes, you're doing things on a normal basis.
Absolutely.
And you get frustrated with it. You get frustrated with what goes on with lawmakers. When times like this come around, you understand why we do those things, and that's just part of it right now. We're all going to benefit from this.
It's a tremendous responsibility to have to deal with what we're dealing with, and realize that I have 37,000 people that I have to look out for in Floyd County. So I'm up to the task. You know, we're going to be fine. And I tell folks, we just have to get a plan. We have to stick to that plan. We can't just be jumping around, you know, day to day. This is our plan. We're going to stick to it. And we have to be thinking down the road. And that's what we're going to get to next in some of the other things that we're going to be discussing.
How much conversation have you had with Frankfurt over the last few weeks? Just ballpark.
I am on conference calls every day, at least 4 hours. That's with the EMS folks, the governor's office, you know, the different individuals that we need to make sure that we are you know, we have folks, a leadership call that we do we do it 3 days a week, and that's just our local folks.
Right.
And, you know, just to think, we try to make sure we're sharing the necessary information and getting folks what they need.
So that when you hear things, you'll know that, listen, you're in talks with Governor Beshear, with his office, with his people. Those things are happening on a nearly daily basis.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're texting, talking, trying to get the information that we need, because to me, information is key in order to ease people's nerves, you know, their concerns, and
Right.
and so the more information we can get out there, the more comfortable people are going to sleep at night.
So let's get into some more information here. First, let's talk about the way we're individually being affected, families individually on the financial side here. Of course, we know about the stimulus package that was passed.
Yes.
In Washington. Let's talk about that and how that affects folks here with those packages that are coming in.
Well, they passed what they call the CARES Act. It's a stimulus package, similar to what happened back in 2008, end of 2008, 2009. But there's a lot of things in here that's going to benefit a lot of people locally. I'd like to go over some of that, and I'm going to try to talk as slowly as possible, as Dale said. You ask the necessary questions, but you have to realize the information that I'm getting is just coming out.
Right.
So I can't answer every detail, but I want to try to give you as much information as I can. And there's really 3 aspects to this. That's the unemployment benefits, the stimulus checks, and the provisions for small businesses to help. First, I'm going to talk about the unemployment benefits that are available to individuals. The unemployment benefits will cover self-employed, independent contractors, substitute teachers, daycare workers, and people who don't ordinarily qualify for unemployment.
Right.
The governor has tried to remove any barriers for unemployment. I mean, the governor's done an excellent job of stepping up and doing the things that we've asked them to do. So they've been trying to remove any barriers, and folks need unemployment, they can get it. So the benefits have been extended up to 39 weeks. The way the benefits will work is the state will calculate your benefits. And let's say your benefits come out to $400 a week.
This is an example. This is
an example. That's right.
This is an example.
It's
It's really just based on your individual income.
That's right. That's right. I think the state benefits can go up to like $550 a week, is my understanding. The state benefits. So I'm just using a round number. Let's say you qualify for $400 a week. The state will send you a check for $400. You'll get another check from $600 from the federal government to supplement that unemployment for 4 months. So those benefits will go from $400 a week to $1,000 a week. And that is for 4 months.
That's 4 months. That's not 39 weeks.
No.
4 months on the federal government.
The 600.
As of right now.
And then 4 months, that 600, it goes away.
Right.
So all you'll get is the state benefits. But that's great. And I'm telling folks, spend the money wisely. If there's some debt, some things that you need to take care of, get some of this stuff taken care of, because as you and I were talking, you know, the real work's going to begin when we get all clear to go back to work.
Now, I know the stimulus money is not taxed. Is that taxed?
Unemployment benefits are taxable.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Unemployment benefits are taxable.
Okay.
Now, the next aspect we have of this, Did you have any questions on
I
unemployment, anything you want
understand
to?
it's 4 weeks, you get the 600 plus the 4, and that was just an example here, but what it will be is, you get the federal benefits for 4 weeks, the state benefits for 39 weeks, or 4 months. 4 months for
That's
that,
correct.
39 weeks for the state, so it will eventually work its way down.
But I'm telling, I had a call this morning, someone called me with an oddball situation and said, do you think I'll qualify for unemployment? I said, I would file. I
It wouldn't hurt
can't
to
tell you,
file. Anybody.
I can't tell you that you can't get unemployment because
Right.
of they were working every day, but it was an odd, an odd job that they had. I would file and see what they say because, as the governor stated, there are no barriers to getting unemployment benefits.
So at this point, yeah, it will not hurt to take the moment, and you can do this online.
You can do it
A lot of
online.
folks can do it online, a whole lot easier that way. I know the site's had some hangups, but I think they're working that out as of
Yes.
this past weekend. So it's going to get easier. Just bear with it and take care of it. Make sure you do that. If you have any question about it at all, I would just go ahead and do it and just see what happens.
Yes.
I mean, find out one way or another. Now, for those on the stimulus checks, about if you don't file for tax, if you haven't filed taxes in years and things of that nature, there's been a lot of questions about that.
The next is the economic impact payments, which is the $1,200 stimulus check. That's a term I like to use. If you everyone, the IRS suggests that everyone file a tax return. That's the easiest for them to process.
Probably faster.
And faster. And,
Right.
and if you do it electronic, you're going to get this probably, and they're saying they're going to start issuing the checks in 3 weeks. But it's not so much they're trying to verify income, and that's what I'm telling folks. Just get the return filed and get your direct deposit information on it. It's not for income tax purposes. They're just trying to get a record of individuals to get the checks out to.
Trying to get the money to you.
Yeah, they're trying to get the money to you. So get something on, go to a tax preparer, go to TurboTax, wherever you need to go, get this filed. Every individual over 18 years of age that's not being claimed on someone else's taxes can get this payment. If you have not filed taxes in 30 years, you can get it. If you're on SSI, you can get it. If you're on disability, you can get it. If you're on VA benefits, you can get it. I have one that called this morning and said, I don't get anything. I have nothing, no income. What do I do? How do I file? What you'll have to do is those folks will have to mail a form in with their name and address on it and just put zero income on it.
Where do you get that information?
You would probably have to download that form from the internet, the 1040. Or you could go to a tax preparer.
So
We can't electronically file a zero tax return. We can't electronically file it. But what I'm trying to tell folks is we want to electronically file as many as possible because those paper returns in 2009, they also told folks you don't have to file a tax return if you're on Social Security. We'll get the information from Social Security Administration. Well, they did, but it was 6 months before that information was transferred over. That's right. Can't wait 6 months. So let's get a return filed. That's what the IRS is suggesting. Get that information put on that tax return, that direct deposit information on that tax return, and get that check back. If it's a husband and a wife, both of you will get a check. If you have a child that is 16 years of age or under, you'll get $500 per child. So this is going to be a big benefit for folks. The only barrier is going to be income barrier. If you're single and you make $75,000 or over, that starts phasing out. If you make $99,000, over $99,000 single, you will not get the stimulus check.
In other words, the $1,200 goes down by percentages.
Over 75.
Over $75,000 as an individual, and as a family, it's $150.
150, and it's phased out at 198.
I read
198,000.
the percentage was what, maybe 28% per such and such.
It's so like $5 per 100 or something
something
over.
like that.
Yeah, they've got a formula that they use,
But it does decrease down.
But look, if you haven't filed taxes in 30 years, you still qualify. Everyone needs to get a tax return filed, and get that direct deposit information sent in so you can get your check back. We'll have people that will file paper returns. What's going to happen with a paper return? It's probably going to take a while. I mean, can you imagine? They're short-staffed already at the IRS. You mail it in, you don't, or even if you don't have a bank account, and they're going to send you a check back. I mean, they're already short-handed. We don't know the time period you'll get that check back. That's why they're wanting everyone to electronically file and do a direct deposit.
If you have questions, ask people in your family, maybe they can help you because trust me, somebody in your family has filed taxes, maybe even, and especially electronically. But the best thing to do is be proactive now. Don't wait when you find out others are getting it and you've not gotten it and you've not done anything about it, and then you're waiting and playing the waiting game. That's a lot of worry. You don't want to go there.
Absolutely. If you get it electronically filed, I know in my particular office, we get stuff filed. We get acknowledgments back usually in 24 hours that they're accepted, and checks back in 10 days. So the IRS has an excellent system in place. And I think that if you go through the electronic filing process, you can go to TurboTax. There's a free filing on the IRS website. You can file for free.
IRS.gov.
IRS.gov. They have free filing on there. Or you can go to a tax preparer. That's your call. Whatever you think is, or you folks that have grandkids, they probably know how to do this stuff online a heck of a lot easier than we do.
Or you do it on their phone probably with the app. I mean, it's just kind of how simple it is. Now, on the business side, there is the SBA to talk about, and local banks. We're going to try to help out with this too. There's some questions on that.
Yeah, just a couple quick things I wanted to add.
Okay, go ahead.
On the individual, the IRS is going to waive the 10% penalty if you take money out of your 401k or IRA accounts. So if you need the money to live on, you can tap into your retirement fund, and they're not going to charge you the penalty to do that. If you have a government-backed mortgage, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, HUD, or VA, there's going to be a 1-year forbearance on those mortgages.
Really?
If you can show that there is a need. So, and interest does not accrue during that forbearance period. Interest or penalties does not accrue.
Now, explain to somebody who may not know what the word forbearance is.
Basically just going to delay payments.
Right.
They're going to delay payments.
It's not that you're not going to incur any interest on it. You're just going to be able to take a break.
You're going to be able to take a break. No penalties, no additional interest on it. And then in 12 months, you start back where you left off.
You pick up where you left off. You've extended it 12 months, but you've had a little reprieve.
Correct. And there's also going to, there's a suspension of all federal student loans for 6 months. And also that 6 months will be interest-free as well. That's some additional information.
So if you're owing federal loans.
Federal student loans, yes.
You're not going to be penalized for that.
That's correct. That's correct. You get 6 months on that.
What if you're getting garnished out of your wages, or if your tax return gets garnished with that?
Well, I don't have the details on that yet. That's some of the things that they'll start working through, I'm sure, here in the next few days.
If you have a question on that, I would call the IRS. There's offices, numbers you can call that.
Yeah. And as we move on, that's some of the things for the individuals. Now, some of the business provisions that are going to be available. We have an economic injury disaster loan. This is for for-profit businesses, nonprofits. They can get the loan. This loan is up to $2 million if you have 500 employees or less. The way the loan works is you don't have to pay any principal or interest. You can get the principal and interest deferred up to 4 years, meaning you don't have to make a payment back on that loan for up to 4 years. Now, this particular loan you can apply for on the SBA website. They have a preliminary application on the SBA website, but you will have to work with a bank, an SBA lender, on all of these. So it's important for you to understand the bank, that you have to find a bank that deals with the Small Business Administration.
And there are banks here locally that are working to do that.
Absolutely. We're talking to, they're like me. They're just getting this information as we are. So, but this particular loan is open to the end of the year. The next program that we have, it's the Payroll Protection Program. This is also for small businesses, but it also sole proprietors, independent contractors, nonprofits with 500 employees or less. The way this program works is the IRS will they will give you a loan up to 250% of your monthly payroll.
Give us an example of that.
Okay, example is they take 3 months of your payroll. This is the way it works. Let's say your payroll is $10,000 a month. That's $30,000, 3 months. So they take 3 months. It's $30,000. They divide it by 3. They come up with an average of $10,000 per month. So what they do is they times that by 250%, or two and a half times, which will be $25,000. So what they will do is if you keep your employees employed for 8 weeks, they'll give you that $25,000 loan. At the end of that 8-week time period, that loan is forgiven. You pay nothing. There's no closing fees, there's no interest, there's nothing. The government is giving you this money because they want you to keep these people employed.
Well, it also keeps having people going on unemployment because,
absolutely,
let's be honest, there's going to be a lot of people, when this does end, they'll be displaced.
Absolutely.
Because you're going to have companies that restructure, that have to make some changes because we're all going to be making changes, and there'll be some people that's caught in the middle, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And they can't be on unemployment forever. But if you're a business owner, you can be responsible enough to do your best to keep as many people. You're going to get rewarded for that.
Absolutely, and that's what I think as responsible employers, and that's what I tell folks. Be a responsible employer. Do what you can to help the people out in these times. I realize it's difficult. I'm a small business owner. I'm struggling just like everyone else. I mean, it's a difficult time, but we're going to get through this. But this is a great program in that they're going to give you that loan, and that loan is interest-free, no fees, and as long as you keep the same number of people employed for 8 weeks, that's just 2 months, that loan is forgiven, and you can use that money for your company's operations.
It would help you recoup some things maybe you missed during that time. And honestly, if you're a small enough business, that the money that you incur from this actually may help you to have to not take such a large SBA loan.
Absolutely,
It may
absolutely.
offset those kind of things where you're not paying so much interest and things back and things of that nature.
Yeah. Now the next program that we have, let me grab my paperwork on it here. It's the employee retention credit. And this is something I just got to take a quick look at it last night, but I've looked at it a little more on my way up here. And the way I read this is for businesses that have been shut down or had a significant reduction in sales. So your business has to be shut down, or you have to have a significant reduction in sales. And the way this works is you get a credit for people that you employ for a quarter. So up to $10,000. And I'm just going to give you an example based on one employee. So if you have one employee that makes $10,000 for the quarter, they'll give you a 50% credit. So that credit is $5,000. As an employer, you've got that $5,000 credit laying out there. You're getting ready to make your 941 deposit for the quarter to pay your federal taxes. You can apply that $5,000 credit against your taxes.
Wow.
So let's say you owe $3,000 in 941 deposits, and that credit is $5,000. You don't have to make a deposit, and they're actually going to reimburse you the $2,000 difference in that credit. But this isn't just for one employee. This is for all your employees. So this is a great program as well. As far as the details on this program, I don't have all the specifics, but I do know that the business has to have been shut down, and there had to be a significant reduction in your sales in order to qualify for it.
That's a total closure.
That's correct.
Not laying off staff, but you're still operating with
skeleton
crew or something like that.
I think this is more along the lines, you have businesses that were ordered to shut down based on the governor
You were directly affected by the shutdown.
Yes, yes.
And you had to close your doors and shelter in.
But these documents, you can type in this information and go to irs.gov, and they give a really good layout of all this. I just haven't had an opportunity to go through it, but this is also going to be a great for businesses because they're going to start this in the second quarter. So this is going to start April the 1st, and this goes through the end of the year. So this is going to be good, and the reason they have 2 or 3 different options out there is because there's only so much money allotted for each of these plans, and that's why it's important as a business owner that you get on this as soon as
That
possible.
was my next question. You don't wait to see how all this develops. If you're a business owner, go ahead and do one of these loans.
Yes.
Do one of these plans. Stick to it, and because once it's gone, correct?
Absolutely,
Once the money's gone, it's
absolutely. But the payroll protection program, the one that I think you're going to see a lot of folks use, where you can get the 250% of your monthly income, that particular loan closes on June the 30th. So you only have to June 30th to apply for that. So what's going to happen?
Basically have the second quarter to do.
What's going to happen? My concern is you're going to have a bottleneck at the banks. They can't process the paperwork, and that's my concern. But the paperwork is really simple. I went on and downloaded the application today, and it's just a 2-page application. It doesn't even ask for financial statements or even a personal guarantee. So you go in, you've got a check, you've got some boxes you got to check that you're not you're not in prison, and you're not in the bankruptcy or something of that nature, and it's that simple.
Back to that business protection one here we're talking about. What if they furloughed people? Does that affect their status on that?
Well, they have to bring the folks back.
So
They
if you
have to
furlough
bring
them,
them
you gotta
back.
bring them back.
Absolutely. If
you laid them off, a little different.
Yes, sir. This loan is for you to keep people on payroll. That's what this particular loan is for you to keep people on payroll and working. So it just, there's going to be businesses that are going to want to go back to work. They're going to need a little money to get started back up. This is a good opportunity to get that money that they need.
Laying off doesn't help you with this.
No, not at all. Now the other 2 programs, yes, or excuse me, the one program,
The other one
yes,
does. The one with the 2.5 income.
That's
does
right.
Not.
It does not.
So it's whichever street a business owner decides to take.
Well, that's what I'm telling folks. This is just a general overview. You need to be talking to your tax preparer, accountant, CPA, whoever you deal with, to go over this information. It's important that you do this, and I'm running into folks every day. They say I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. I'm going to be okay through this. A lot of us are doing okay now, but this is going to be something that's going to be around to the end of the year, as far as the repercussions through our economy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that we're going to be in a shutdown, quarantine, type situation to the end of the year, but it is going to affect our economy through 2020.
Anything else you want to add?
No, Jamie, I just I appreciate you having us on. And again, I know this is a lot of information to digest. Just a general overview. I want to tell folks, talk to your tax preparer, accountant, banker, but you need to if you are a business owner, you need to get it. You need to get with a bank that's got an SBA program and get these applications in as soon as possible.
The most important thing of all this is be proactive, whether it's the social distancing, whether it's needing something from a food pantry, whether it is needing unemployment, whether it's a business loan, whatever the situation is, don't lay back. Be proactive and do this right.
Well, we're doing everything we can do as elected officials to try to help. I mean, if just a little bit, if we can just help one person, I sleep a little better at night knowing we're doing the right things.
You're doing a good job.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Good job. For Robbie Williams, I'm Jamie Johnson. This has been the Floyd County Court Report on WMDJ. Hopefully you'll be able to take this information and share it with others and digest it. If anybody has any questions about these things we've talked about, there are folks they can talk to, as you said, whether you're a local banker, whether it's your tax preparer.
Yes.
You can even call the judge's office for a lot of these things.
Yeah, well, our phone's been ringing off the hook this
Right.
morning
I'm
about
throwing
these
more water on
issues.
you, but hey,
Yeah.
you're there to help.
Hey, we're here to help. If you have questions, you pick the phone up and call anytime. That number is 886-9193, and we will take your call.
Thank you for watching the County Court Report on WMDJ. We'll see you next time.